Yeah, well, a lot of my songs, really all of my songs, are pretty much autobiographical. If somebody's familiar with my music, they can pretty much come to expect that when they pick up one of my albums or listen to one of my songs, that song has been lived. It's been part of my personal experience, and songwriting just is my creative outlet to share my story and what God has done in my life. And so there's a song called Next Thing You Know that I like to say it tells the story of the best day in the history of my life, and that is the day that I accepted Christ into my heart. You know, I mentioned I was a preacher's kid, but as a 13-year-old boy, I turned on the television one day. I was looking for a baseball game. I'm from Chicago. I love the Chicago Cubs. And instead of finding a Cubs game that day, I remember as a 13-year-old kid, I found a Billy Graham crusade on television. And normally, you know, like I said, as a preacher's kid, you've been in church your whole life. The last thing you want to see on TV is another preacher. But on this particular day, I couldn't change the channel. More importantly, I felt like God was really doing a work in my heart, knocking at the door of my heart. And as he gave an invitation to all the people in that big Coliseum to step forward and make the most important decision of their lives, something just began to sink deep inside, saying, this is your time. And my mom, she was an amazing woman of God. She saw me in the basement watching Billy Graham, and she knew something was up because it wasn't a baseball game. And she just asked me, do you want to pray? And I remember praying there, and so the song Next Thing You Know tells that story. It says, I remember when I was 13, I saw a picture on my TV screen, the Reverend Billy Graham and all the people singing Just As I Am, and it felt like you were talking to me. The song goes on to say, you know, that became the hour I first believed, and next thing you know, I'm a brand new man. But the most important part of that song is at the end, it says, everybody's got their own 13. Everybody's got their own story, and that's God's plan for our lives, is that he knocks at the door of our heart, and we have a chance to answer. More importantly, we have a chance to enter into the story that he wants to tell with our lives. And so there's a part of that song, my favorite part, is when I turn out to the audience and say, so what's your story about his glory? You've got to find your place in the history of grace. And that's really something I try to accomplish with my music, is encouraging people, hey, this song is more than just a song. I want this to be less about me, the singer, and more about helping you find your story and what God's telling through your life.